Jake.
I'm Tom.
And we are VIMTV Velocities of Music. Today, guys, we're going to review Memory Tapes, 2011 follow-up, second album now, entitled Player Piano. This is the follow-up to 2009 Seek Magic, which Tom and I both reviewed, gave a score on this when we were just starting out, VIMTV, learning how to review still, I think. We gave it a 79, and both were just blown away with it afterwards. And now I think we would give it
quality,
90s quality. I think it's just, you know, it's one of those dominant albums, was known as what defined chillwave, even glo-fi, that new term that came out, and was really kind of an underground success, which is kind of cool. And this is the follow-up, which takes the same sound palette and then it approaches it from a different angle, let's say. And I think that overall the structure is poppier, the sound is poppier, it's brighter, you get a lot more emphasis on the vocals and a lot less emphasis on the big, thick, you know, just waves of sound coming at you. You don't have that quite as much. You'll have a structured beat, you'll have an electronic melody or two that goes and kind of goes in and out, and then you have the vocals sitting on top, which to just jump right into my thoughts, I'm a little disappointed in, because I just don't think that, his name is Dayve Hawk, I don't think Dayve Hawk's vocals are really quite that strong. I think that before, in Seek Magic, Tom, I know you were saying they kind of were there and they served their purpose very well.
Yeah, they really just reinforced the instrumentals because it was this dark kind of funky vibe where it was a lot of emphasis on the bass and the beats, and then you'd have Dayve Hawk's vocals kind of underneath, floating the whole mix upwards, and I really liked that. And here, instead, it's the reverse, and the vocals are right on top, and it's it's. I mean, it's still good, but it's just not.
It's kind of like going from Naboo to Dagobah, you know?
No, I don't know.
All right, well,
I hope someone out there does.
Tell us what you think about that reference. Overall, I just feel like his vocals are just kind of, I don't think they're as strong. I feel like at times on this record that some of the vocals are just out of tune, and there's times where I'm just like, ah! And,
yeah, I see what you mean.
And that bothers me, because never, ever has Memory Tapes, you know, on Seek Magic, or even most of the time, probably 70 to 80% of the time on this album, do I ever feel like I'm kind of in this awkward position where I'm like, ugh, I don't like that, cringing, feeling uncomfortable. Memory Tapes has always been something very natural sounding, very engrossing and happy and uplifting, and yet kind of a dark, melancholic kind of way. And it has that funky groove to it. And here it's a whole different approach. It's much colder, and honestly, I feel like it's a little bit more forced. Yeah. I feel like that Hawk is kind of just making music to make music here. But what good news is he says he already has a third album written. So I don't know if it's recorded.
Yeah, I find this album harder to connect to than Seek Magic. I don't want to base it all on Seek Magic, but I mean,
in this case, it's hard not to, and I'm kind of a hypocrite.
Yeah, and it's hard, but it's hard to connect to in general.
Yeah.
And I just mean when you compare it, that's even exaggerated. But yeah, that's the thing, is it doesn't exactly pull me in. It's fun to listen to. It's still good, but it just doesn't pull me in as much. It doesn't make me care. It doesn't make me feel. It's just kind of like, oh yeah, this is all right. Okay.
Still, you gotta give this guy credit, because he can make songs that are just the moodiest things ever.
And catchy.
Yeah,
catchy
the music video that's been released has been one of the most appealing music videos I've seen all year, and is up there with Tyler the Creator's Yonkers, personally. You just gotta like this guy's music and what he does and the originality of it. I really do feel like this is still a fairly unique sound. He puts unique spins on it, even though he's kind of taking it towards a more mainstream approach. It's just something to keep in mind. I feel like there's a number of things I like about this album. I would come back to it, but if I had to choose, I'm gonna choose Washed Out's Within and Without over this any day, because that's more the sound I was kind of wanting this to sound like. And surprisingly, when I put the two together, I preferred that, which completely blew me away. This is one of my most anticipated albums of 2011. So that's just kind of how it worked out for me. I'm feeling mid-60s on this one. Feel like some things could go a little bit better. Some things that, you know, are still good, but I would like to see more of. 65.
I'm going 69.
Yeah, and I feel like overall 67 for this one. Probably a good place for it. It's at the cusp of being something better than what it actually is. One thing I did want to mention before we turn the camera off. It starts off with music box in and music box out, and it's just kind of a music box sound that kind of gives it kind of bookends on the album. And I just gotta say, when I get done with that, I feel like I've gone places, but I don't really know where I went. And I like the effect and I like the structuring, but I just wish there was a little bit more direction there, a little bit more relation with
the journey doesn't quite feel complete.
Yeah, right. And they don't make you understand why you're put on the journey. That's important, the warrant. What did you guys think? Tell us at www.velocitiesandmusic.com or youtube.com/velocitiesandmusic. I'm interested to see what you thought of this in comparison to Seek Magic, because I'm sure some of you out there actually prefer this over Seek Magic. And if you haven't checked it, Seek Magic out, shame on you! Go do it. Facebook, Twitter, do it. I'm Jake.
I'm Tom.
And we are VIMTV, moving music critique forward.
Oh,